I used to think my biggest problem was Selena. That was adorable. Wrong. But adorable. Back then, I was 17. A senior at Westbridge High. A music club member. A decent student. A decent singer. And, according to my mom, too dramatic for someone who still forgot to fold laundry. Fair. Still, I had a plan. Graduate high school. Get into a good college. And somehow make Selena notice me before Julian did. That last part was the problem. Because Julian noticed everything first. He noticed when Selena changed her hairstyle. He noticed when she forgot her sheet music. He noticed when she liked a song before the rest of us even learned the chorus. And worst of all, Selena noticed him noticing. Julian was the kind of guy who looked like he came with background music. Perfect grades. Perfect posture. Perfect smile. The kind of rich that did not need to say it out loud. His car said it. His watch said it. Even his backpack looked like it had a financial advisor. And he could sing. Of course he could. A soft, clean voice. The kind that made teachers close their eyes and nod like they were hearing art. I hated that. Mostly because I could sing too. I just had more personality about it. At least that was what I told myself. Music club met every Tuesday and Thursday after school. In the choir room beside the auditorium. By March, everyone knew about me and Julian. Not because we were friends. We were not. Not because we were enemies. That sounded too dramatic. We were more like two people who accidentally turned liking the same girl into a school activity. If Julian offered Selena a pencil, I offered her a pen. If I made Selena laugh during rehearsal, Julian followed with a comment so smooth it made the whole room react. If Julian chose a ballad for practice, I picked something upbeat and acted like I had saved everyone from sadness. It was childish. It was obvious. It was also very entertaining for everyone except me. Ben, who played keyboard for the club, watched us one Thursday with quiet amusement. He sat beside Selena, helping her sort sheet music. Ben was different from us. He never competed, never rushed to speak first, never tried to turn every moment into a performance. He just listened to Selena, really listened. I noticed that, then immediately decided not to think about it. Across the room, Julian leaned against the piano. He looked at me with that calm, annoying smile. You know, he said, trying this hard can't be healthy. I closed my folder. You would know. You treat music club like a royal audition. Julian glanced down at his sweater, then back at me. It's called having standards. It's called being exhausting. He smiled wider. I hated how relaxed he looked. I hated how Selena laughed from across the room. I hated how quickly I looked to see if Julian heard it too. He did. For 1 second, both of us looked at Selena. She was laughing at something Ben said. Not politely. Not because she was trying to be nice. A real laugh. The kind that made her eyes soften. Julian's smile faded just a little. Then he looked at me. Well, he said. May the better man win. I stepped closer. Finally. You admit I have a chance. In your dreams, Eric. Careful, Julian. You sound nervous. He tilted his head. Careful, Eric. You sound hopeful. Before I could answer, Selena called from across the room. Are you two arguing again? Julian and I turned at the same time. No, we said together. The whole music club laughed. I should have been embarrassed. Maybe I was. But the truth was worse. If Julian had not been there, music club would have felt strangely quiet. And that was something I refused to admit. Especially before Selena's birthday party. Especially before everything changed. Selena's birthday party was on Saturday night. Her parents rented the community clubhouse near Lake Willow. It was not huge, but it had string lights, a snack table, a small speaker near the windows, and enough seniors from music club to make the room feel louder than it actually was. I arrived at 7, exactly on time, which meant Julian was already there. Of course. He stood near the gift table, holding a black gift bag with silver tissue paper inside. Even his birthday gift looked like it needed its own security system. I looked down at mine. A blue envelope, a handmade card, and a tiny microphone keychain Selena once said was cute. When we passed a music store downtown, it had felt thoughtful at home. Now it felt like I had brought homework to a wedding. Julian noticed immediately. His eyes dropped to the envelope, then back to my face. "That's sweet," he said. I smiled. "Thanks. Your gift looks like it has a warranty." "It's not that expensive." "Julian, the tissue paper looks richer than me." Julian opened his mouth to answer. Then Selena walked over. And just like that, both of us became normal. Or tried to. "Eric, you made it," she said. She wore a soft pink dress and a silver birthday crown someone had clearly forced onto her head. I handed her the envelope. "Happy birthday, Selena. You look really pretty tonight." Her cheeks turned pink. "Thank you." Julian stepped beside me. "Happy birthday," he said, giving her his gift. His voice was calm. Too calm, like he had rehearsed in a mirror. I hated that I could imagine it. Selena accepted both gifts. "You two are being weirdly nice tonight." "We are always nice," Julian said. I looked at him. "That is a historic lie." Selena laughed. Across the room, Ben was setting up the playlist. He looked over when Selena laughed. She looked back at him. And there it was again. That easy smile. The one Julian and I kept trying to win. Except Ben got it by simply existing. I saw it. Julian saw it too. Neither of us said anything. The party went on. People danced. Someone dropped chips near the couch and pretended they had not. Two girls argued about which graduation song would make everyone cry harder. Julian and I somehow ended up near Selena every time a group conversation formed. If I made her laugh, Julian said something smoother. If Julian helped her carry drinks, I grabbed napkins before he could. It was ridiculous. And everyone knew. Around 8:30, the music lowered. Ben walked to the middle of the room, holding a small notebook. At first, everyone cheered because we thought it was a birthday speech. Selena covered her face, already embarrassed. Ben looked nervous, but his smile stayed soft. "This is for you," he said. He gave her the notebook. Selena opened it, then went completely still. Inside were handwritten lyrics, pages of them. Songs they had worked on together. Little notes in the margins. Tiny memories Julian and I had been too busy competing to notice. Ben rubbed the back of his neck. "I know this is your birthday," he said. "And maybe the timing is a little scary. But I like you, Selena. I have for a while." The room went quiet. Selena stared at him. Then she smiled. "I like you too," she said. The clubhouse exploded. Everyone cheered. Someone clapped too loudly. I stood there with my blue envelope feeling very small. Julian stood beside me, silent. For once, neither of us had a comeback. Selena and Ben were blushing. Everyone was happy. And somehow I was not as heartbroken as I expected. I was embarrassed, confused, a little empty, but not broken. Julian leaned closer, his voice low. "Well," I looked at him. "Well, what?" He glanced at Selena and Ben. "Looks like we both lost." I should have been annoyed. Instead, I almost laughed. "Speak for yourself," I muttered. "I lost with dignity." Julian looked at my envelope. "Sure." I looked at his fancy gift bag. "At least I didn't lose in premium packaging." His lips twitched. That should not have felt like a victory. Then someone shouted from across the room. "Group photo. Everyone get in." I had no idea one photo was about to make the night even worse. The group photo sounded harmless. That was the first mistake. Everyone started moving toward the balloon wall near the windows. Pink balloons. Silver streamers. A glowing number 18 behind Selena. It looked sweet. Normal. Safe. Clearly, I should have known better. Selena stood in the middle with Ben beside her. He looked nervous but happy. She was still holding the notebook he gave her. Their shoulders touched. This time, I did not feel the urge to step between them. That was strange. Before I could think about it too much, someone grabbed my sleeve. "Eric, get in the picture." "I am in the picture," I said. "You're behind the snack table." I looked down. I was, unfortunately, behind the snack table. Not my strongest moment. I stepped forward. At the same time, Julian moved from the other side. of course. Because apparently the universe was not done making jokes. He stopped beside me, too close. His shoulder almost brushed mine. I looked at him. Really? Julian looked at the crowded group in front of us. I was here first. You were absolutely not. I was emotionally here first. That sentence means nothing. It means you're in my space. I turned my head slowly. Your space. Julian gave me that calm smile. Yes, my very expensive personal space. I wanted to say something clever. I really did. But someone in front shouted, "Move closer. We can't fit everyone." Before I could react, two girls squeezed in from my left. A guy from the club stepped behind us. Someone on my side squeezed in closer, which was unfair, because I did not agree to be moved. Julian shifted closer. I shifted too. The whole group became one giant mess of laughter, elbows, balloons, and bad decisions. "Eric," Julian muttered. "What? Stop leaning on me. I'm being moved by society." His mouth twitched. "Society needs better manners." The girl holding the camera lifted her phone. "Okay. Everyone smile." I tried. Barely. Julian looked straight ahead. Too polished. Too calm. Too close. 3. Someone behind me laughed and adjusted their position. 2. Selena leaned toward Ben, smiling. 1. Then it happened. A small push from behind. Not hard. Just enough to throw off my balance. My foot slipped half a step. Julian turned toward me at the exact wrong second. And our lips met. For one tiny, impossible moment, the whole room disappeared. No music. No laughing. No balloons. Just Julian. Then the camera flashed. I pulled back so fast my shoulder hit the balloon wall. Julian froze. His eyes were wide. Mine were probably worse. The room went silent. 1 second. Maybe 2. Then everyone exploded. Oh my gosh! Did that just happen? Wait. Did we get that? Eric and Julian? Someone laughed so hard they almost dropped their soda. My face burned. Julian touched his mouth with the back of his hand, like he was checking if reality was still real. Pointed at him. "That was your fault." Julian blinked. "My fault? You fell into me. You turned your face. You entered my very expensive personal space. I was pushed by society." That made half the room laugh again. Selena covered her mouth, trying not to laugh too loudly. Ben looked like he wanted to be supportive but had no idea how. The girl with the camera looked down at her phone, then back at us. "Oh," she said. "It definitely got the picture." The room exploded again. I wanted the floor to open. Politely. Nothing dramatic. Just enough for me to disappear. Julian finally leaned a little closer. His voice dropped so only I could hear. "Well, Eric." I glared at him. "Do not." His lips curved. "At least we both got a memorable birthday gift." I hated him. I really did. So why did my heart react before my mouth could deny it? For the next 20 minutes, the photo became the entire party. Not Selena and Ben. Not the birthday cake. Not even the fact that someone had put too much ice in the punch bowl and nearly flooded the table. No. Everyone cared about the picture. That picture. The one where Selena looked happy. Ben looked shy. The music club looked like a normal group of seniors at a birthday party. And Julian and I looked like we had accidentally become the main event. I tried not to look. That lasted about 12 seconds. Then Maya shoved her phone in front of my face. "Eric, you have to see this." "I absolutely do not." "You absolutely do." I sighed. Then I looked. Because apparently I hated peace. There we were. In the middle of the group. My eyes wide. Julian's hand half raised like he had tried to catch his balance. The camera flash had caught the exact worst second. I handed the phone back. "That is edited." Maya laughed. "It was taken 30 seconds ago." Technology moves fast. Julian appeared beside me with a cup of soda. "For once," he said. "I agree with Eric." I looked at him. "You should do that more often. Do not make it weird." His voice sounded normal. Too normal. But his ears were red. I noticed. then immediately wished I had not. Selena walked over with Ben beside her. She looked happy, still a little embarrassed, but mostly happy. "Are you two okay?" she asked. I nodded too quickly. "Great. Amazing. Very normal." Julian took a slow sip of soda. "We survived." Ben looked between us. "You both look like you need air." "We do not," I said. At the same time, Julian said, "Maybe." I turned to him. "Whose side are you on?" Julian's mouth curved. "The side with oxygen." Selena laughed softly. "Sorry, everyone keeps teasing. It was obviously an accident." Obviously, right? An accident. That word should have helped. It did not. The party ended a little after 9. Parents started arriving. People grabbed jackets, gift bags, leftover cupcakes, and the last pieces of pride I had left. I found Tyler near the front door. He was checking his phone with the expression of someone about to disappoint me. "Eric," he said. "Small problem." I narrowed my eyes. "No, you do not even know what it is." "I can feel it." Tyler showed me a text. His girlfriend's family was picking her up nearby. They were going for late-night fries. He looked guilty enough to almost be useful. "I can wait until you get a ride," he said. That was my chance. A smart person would have accepted. Unfortunately, I had spent the night losing Selena, becoming a camera accident, and pretending my heart was not acting strange. So my pride made the decision. "No, go," I said. "Be romantic. Be brave." Tyler blinked. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely." He thanked me 3 times and left. 2 minutes later, I opened my map app. 53 minutes on foot. I stared at the screen, then at the quiet road outside the clubhouse, then back at the screen. "Eric," I whispered, "you are an idiot." I started walking anyway. The lake road was peaceful during the day. At night it was too quiet. The party music faded behind me. My shoes tapped against the sidewalk. 1 step, then another. I tried to think about Selena and Ben. I tried to feel heartbroken. Instead, my brain replayed the camera flash. Julian's shocked eyes, his voice close to my ear. "At least we both got a memorable birthday gift." I groaned into the empty street. "Stop thinking about him." A car horn answered. I turned. A familiar dark car slowed beside the curb. The window rolled down. Julian looked at me like the universe had personally sent him to make my night worse. "Oh," he said. "Eric got abandoned?" I stared at Julian through the open window. He looked way too comfortable. One hand on the steering wheel. Perfect hair. Expensive car. Annoying face. The universe had terrible taste. "I was not abandoned," I said. Julian glanced at the empty sidewalk behind me. "Right? You're just taking a peaceful 53-minute walk after 9. It's called independence. It's called bad planning." I crossed my arms. Julian's eyes dropped to them, then back to my face. "Need a ride?" I should have said yes. A normal person would have said yes. Unfortunately, I had spent the whole night losing to Ben, becoming a group photo disaster, and pretending Julian's mouth had not ruined my ability to think. So I chose pride. "No thanks," I said. "I wouldn't want you to feel guilty." Julian raised one eyebrow. "Guilty? You know, because you kissed me." His mouth opened, then closed. That felt like a small victory. "You fell into me," he said. "You turned your face. You were standing too close." "You mean your very expensive personal space?" Julian's jaw tightened. I smiled. It was not smart, but it was fun. "And maybe," I added, "you just wanted to make Selena's birthday unforgettable." Julian stared at me. Then he gave me a calm smile. The dangerous kind. "Eric." "What?" "If I wanted to kiss someone tonight, it would be Puppy." I blinked. "Your dog?" "Yes, my dog." I looked at him, then very unfortunately at his mouth. "Right? Maybe Puppy likes caramel." Julian went still. I had guessed correctly. He used caramel lip balm. I had noticed that. Even worse, I remembered it. His ears turned red. "You deserve to walk home," he said. I lifted my chin. Good. Walking is healthier than sitting in a car that smells like a spa with seatbelts. Julian looked at me for one long second. Then the window started rolling up. Enjoy your walk, idiot. His car pulled away. I watched the taillights disappear down the road. Then I looked at the sidewalk ahead. Still quiet. Still long. Still very much my problem. I checked my phone. 49 minutes left. I whispered, Eric, you are painfully stupid. The lake road was pretty during the day. At night it felt too empty. The streetlights were far apart. The trees moved softly in the wind. Every sound became too loud. My shoes on. The sidewalk. A leaf scraping the curb. A mailbox flag clicking in the breeze. I was not scared. Obviously. I was mature. Reasonable. Almost an adult. Then a bush moved. I stopped. My biggest secret was not the photo. It was worse. I was scared of clowns. All clowns. Even friendly ones. When I was little, one jumped out during a haunted fair attraction. Everyone laughed. I did not. Since then, my brain had decided quiet roads and dark bushes were suspicious. Very suspicious. I walked faster. Then faster. A garden statue looked like it was watching me. A trash can look too confident. I almost apologized to it. Then headlights appeared behind me. My heart jumped. A familiar dark car slowed beside the curb. The window rolled down. Julian looked at me. This time he was not smiling. Get in. I tried to look casual. You came back. You don't want to be late to school tomorrow. That was not the real reason. We both knew it. Still, my legs had already voted. If you insist, I said. Julian stared at me. I can keep driving. I opened the door immediately and got in. Too late, I said, pulling the seat belt on. I'm already inside. Julian looked at me. Then he laughed quietly. And somehow, the empty road did not feel so scary anymore. Julian pulled back onto the road. For a while, neither of us said anything. The car was warm. Too warm. Or maybe that was just my face. I kept the seat belt tight across my chest, like it could protect what was left of my pride. Julian glanced at me. Relax, he said. I'm not making you walk. I know. You look like you're holding on for survival. I'm protecting myself from rich people driving. Julian made a small sound, almost a laugh. Then the silence came back. Outside, Lake Willow disappeared behind us. The clubhouse lights were gone. The road ahead was quiet, lined with trees and sleeping houses. Inside the car, everything felt different. Not bad, just too full. Selena choosing Ben. The group photo. The camera flash. Julian's mouth. I looked out the window. So, I said, because silence was dangerous. Why did you come back? Julian kept his eyes on the road. Because I'm a good person. That's your answer? It's a great answer. It's a suspicious answer. It's the only one you're getting. I studied the side of his face. The streetlights moved across his cheek, his nose, his mouth. I looked away too late. Nothing to do with guilt? Julian sighed. Guilt about what? You know. No, Eric. I don't. I smiled. That kiss. His fingers tightened slightly on the steering wheel. Barely. But I saw it. That was an accident. Sure. You were pushed. You turned. You fell. You smelled like caramel. Julian's head snapped toward me. I pointed at the road. Driving. Please. He looked forward again, but his ears turned red. That made me feel victorious. And deeply stupid. Do you bother everyone this much? He asked. Only people who abandon me on dark roads. I came back. After abandoning me first. I corrected my mistake. How noble. Julian gave me a sideways look. Say one more word and I'll drop you off right here. I grabbed the seat belt tighter. Don't even dream about it. I'm staying until my house appears. Then be quiet. Fine. I lasted maybe 1 minute. Julian. He inhaled slowly. What? I tried to keep a serious face. Did you really kiss puppy? The car went silent. Then Julian turned just enough to glare at me. Eric. What? I'm asking a respectful question. You are asking a ridiculous question. I need to understand the competition. There is no competition. Good. I would hate to lose to a dog. Julian stared at the road like he was asking the universe for patience. I laughed. It slipped out before I could stop it. For some reason, Julian's expression softened. Only a little, but enough for me to notice. Again, that was becoming a problem. A few minutes later, we reached my neighborhood. Quiet houses, porch lights, the familiar stop sign near my street. Julian slowed the car near the corner. Here, he said. You can walk from this point, right? I looked at him. So cold. You live 3 houses away. Still, no emotional farewell. Julian turned to me. His smile changed. Not big, not obvious. Just dangerous enough to make my brain stop working. What kind of farewell were you expecting? My mouth went dry. I reached for the door handle. It did not open. I pulled again. Nothing. Julian leaned closer. I immediately forgot how doors worked. Julian, I said, quieter than planned. I was joking. He moved closer. The scent of caramel reached me again. Warm, soft, annoying. Only joking? He asked. My back pressed lightly against the seat. Yes. His hand reached past me. I held my breath. Then the door clicked open. Julian leaned back, looking far too pleased. The door sticks sometimes, he said. You looked like you were about to disappear into the seat. I exhaled, then glared at him. I hate you. Good night, Eric. I stepped out, trying to recover my pride. By the curb, I looked back. By the way, I said, thanks. Julian's smile became smaller, softer. Convenient route. Sure. Good night, kind caramel boy. Then I ran before he could answer. Behind me, Julian called, I regret everything. But when I reached my front porch, I was smiling. And that was the worst part. I did not think about Selena that night. That should have worried me. It did not. I lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling, while my brain replayed everything I had specifically told it not to replay. Julian turning the car around. Julian pretending it was only because he was a good person. Julian leaning closer. The caramel scent. The door clicking open. His smile after he tricked me. I turned onto my side and pressed my face into the pillow. No, I whispered. My pillow offered no emotional support. Rude. By Monday morning, I had almost convinced myself everything was normal. Almost. Westbridge High looked the same. Same crowded parking lot. Same students half awake with iced coffees. Same seniors pretending they were not counting down to graduation. Then I saw Selena and Ben by the lockers. They were standing close. Not dramatic close, just comfortable close. Ben held Selena's notebook while she fixed the strap of her bag. She laughed at something he said. That soft laugh. The one Julian and I had tried so hard to win. I waited for jealousy. Nothing came. No sharp feeling. No urge to interrupt. No need to prove I was better than Ben. I just looked at them and thought, okay, that was new. Then I saw Julian. He stood a few lockers away, talking to Maya from music club. He looked untouched by Saturday night. Hair perfect. Backpack on one shoulder. Face calm like the photo, the car ride, and the caramel scent had only happened to me. Like he had not turned his car around. Like he had not leaned close enough to make me forget how doors worked. That annoyed me. Not because of Selena. Because of him. How could he look that normal? Then Julian looked up. Our eyes met. For 1 second, his expression froze. Barely. But I saw it. Maya kept talking. Julian did not answer. I smiled before I could stop myself. He looked away first. Interesting. Very interesting. I walked past Selena and Ben. Morning, I said. Selena smiled. Morning, Eric. Ben nodded. Hey. No awkwardness. No heartbreak. No war. Just 3 normal words in a hallway. Then Julian caught up beside me. He did not look at me right away. You look alive, he said. Disappointed. Surprised. I glanced at him. You look normal. Julian's mouth twitched. I am normal. That is the boldest lie you've told all year. He finally looked at me. His eyes were calm. His ears were not. They were pink. I should not have liked that. I did. At lunch, I did not go straight to the music club table. That table had Selena and Ben, and probably someone ready to show the birthday photo again. I chose a corner table near the windows. Quiet, safe, emotionally responsible. I had just opened my lunch when a tray landed across from me. Julian sat down, like this was normal, like we had always done this. I stared at him. What are you doing? Eating lunch. There are other tables. I noticed. And yet, he picked up his fork. This one had entertainment. I narrowed my eyes. You mean me? Obviously. I should have told him to leave. Instead, I opened my juice box. Badly. It splashed onto my hand. Julian looked at it. Then at me. Impressive. Shut up. He handed me a napkin without another word. I took it. That was worse than if he had teased me. Because it was small. Easy. Like he had already expected I would need it. Across the cafeteria, Selena sat beside Ben. They looked happy. I looked at them. Still nothing. Julian followed my gaze. Does it bother you? He asked. I thought about lying. Then I shook my head. No, I don't think so. Julian was quiet for a moment. Me neither. That should have made things easier. It did not. Because if Selena was no longer the reason we kept looking at each other, then I had no idea what was. After that, lunch became a routine. A strange routine. A suspicious routine. On Tuesday, Julian sat across from me again. By Wednesday, he did not even ask. He just placed his tray down, opened his milk carton, and looked at me like I was the unusual one. I stared at him. Do you need something? Julian took one slow sip. Peace. Then you picked the wrong table. I noticed. I rolled my eyes and went back to my fries. That was when I made the mistake of watching him eat. Not in a weird way, just because he was there, across from me. Too calm, too close, too much Julian for a normal lunch. His mouth curved slightly when he read something on his phone. And suddenly my brain betrayed me. I remembered Saturday night. The crowded photo. The camera flash. The accident. My hand touched my lips before I realized it. Julian stopped chewing. His eyes moved to my hand. Then to my face. For 1 second, neither of us spoke. Then Julian reached for a napkin. Very slowly. He wiped his own mouth. Then held the napkin up like evidence. Relax, he said. No caramel lip balm today. I should have been embarrassed. Instead, I looked at the napkin. There was red sauce on it. I smiled. No lip balm. Just lipstick. Julian froze. I felt instantly better. His eyes narrowed. Eric. What? It's a nice color. He leaned back in his chair. I could ruin your lunch right now. I picked up my tray. You would have to catch me first. Then I walked away before he could answer. Behind me, someone from the music club table laughed. Julian called after me. Coward. I did not turn around. Mostly because I was smiling. After school, music club rehearsal started at 3:30. The end-of-year party was only 2 weeks away, so everyone was supposed to focus. Usually that was impossible. Usually Julian and I turned every rehearsal into a competition. Who sang cleaner? Who made Selena laugh? Who corrected the other person first? But that day was different. Selena sat beside Ben. Ben helped her organize the sheet music. And I did not feel the need to interrupt. Julian stood near the piano. He did not interrupt either. We rehearsed. Actually rehearsed. No dramatic flirting. No pointless arguments. No battle for attention. The room felt so peaceful it was almost suspicious. Maya looked around. Is anyone else scared? Ben looked up from his music. Of what? She pointed between me and Julian. Them. They're behaving. A few people laughed. Selena smiled into her sheet music. I lifted my hand. We have retired from public chaos. Julian nodded seriously. We are entering our mature era. Maya stared at us. That is somehow more concerning. After rehearsal, The group decided to get dinner at the diner near school. Selena said it could be a small celebration for her and Ben, and, according to Maya, for Eric and Julian finally becoming normal human beings. The diner was only 10 minutes away. Old booths, neon sign, too many fries. Somehow I ended up beside Julian. Again, I blamed the seating arrangement and society. When the server came, I ordered steak and fries. Then Julian shifted beside me. His shoulder brushed mine for half a second. Barely anything. Unfortunately, my brain treated it like a major event. So I forgot one important thing. No green peppercorn sauce. When the food arrived, I stared at my plate. Julian noticed immediately. Before I could say anything, he switched our plates. Smooth, quiet, like it was nothing. The server mixed them up, he said. Everyone looked at us, because everyone had heard me order. Julian did not blink. He can't eat green peppercorns. My chest did something strange. Small, warm, annoying. I forced myself to nod. Yeah, I said. Must be a mistake. Julian started eating from my plate. Like remembering something about me was normal. It was not normal. It was dangerously sweet. The table stayed quiet for exactly 2 seconds. Then Maya leaned forward. Wait. I looked at her. No. I didn't even say anything. You had the face of someone about to say something. Maya pointed one fry at Julian. Julian knows your food dislikes now. Julian kept eating. Calm. Unbothered. Far too suspicious. The server made a mistake, he said. Maya looked at my plate. Then at his. Sure. Ben smiled into his drink. Selena covered her mouth, trying not to laugh. I nudged Julian lightly under the table. He did not react. That annoyed me. Also somehow impressed me. Dinner ended around 7. Selena and Ben left together because they lived in the same direction. This time I watched them go. No jealousy. No dramatic sadness. Just peace. That should have been the strangest part. It was not. The strangest part was Julian standing beside me in the parking lot, looking like he had every right to be there. Not chasing after them? He asked. I gave him a look. I'm retired, remember? Right? Mature era. Very mature. Then my car refused to start. For 10 full minutes, I sat behind the wheel, turning the key and silently begging it to cooperate. Nothing. Julian tapped on my window. I lowered it. Your car sounds healthy, he said. It's taking a personal day. No repair shop will be open this late. I know. He tilted his head toward his car. Come on. I'll drive you home. I almost refused. Then I remembered Lake Willow Road. The quiet. The bushes. My pride had already embarrassed me enough this week. So I got in. For once, neither of us argued right away. Julian drove through the quiet streets, one hand resting on the wheel. I watched the road, then him, then the road again. So, I said, how did you know about the green peppercorns? Julian's mouth curved. I asked around. You what? I was planning something. That sounds suspicious. It was creative. I turned fully toward him. Julian. He sighed, like I was insulting his genius. I was going to surprise you at the end of your party with snacks full of things you hate. I stared at him. You are a villain. A classy one. You planned a green peppercorn crime. I changed my mind. Because you're a good person? He glanced at me. Because you looked upset. That shut me up. For once. The car felt quieter after that. Not empty. Just honest. When we reached the intersection near my house, Julian stopped by the curb. My street was only a few houses away. I unbuckled my seat belt slowly. You still owe me, I said. Julian looked at me. For what? For the emotional damage caused by your green peppercorn crime. He smiled. What do you want? I thought about the way he had leaned close in his car. The caramel scent. The door clicking open. My brain immediately became useless. So I opened the door before I could say anything embarrassing. Pick me up for school tomorrow. Julian blinked. That's it. That is your punishment. His smile grew. Fine. I'll come early. Not too early. No promises. I stepped out and pointed at him. This does not mean we are friends. Julian leaned slightly toward the open door. Of course not. His voice was too amused. We are just two retired rivals with a transportation arrangement. I hated how much I liked that. Good night, Mr. Good Person. Good night, Eric. I closed the door and walked toward my house. This time I did not run, but I did smile, and that scared me more than the dark road. Because before, I wanted to see Julian to compete with him. Now I just wanted to see him. Julian came early the next morning. Very early. I knew that because my mom's voice floated up the stairs before my alarm had finished destroying my will to live. Eric, your friend is here. I opened one eye. Friend? That word felt dangerous before 8 in the morning. I got dressed fast and went downstairs. Apparently, my mom had opened the door for him while I was still upstairs. He had introduced himself as my ride to school, which somehow earned him pancakes. Then I stopped at the kitchen doorway. Julian was sitting at our breakfast table, with my mom, eating pancakes, like this was completely normal. My mom smiled at me. Eric, hurry up. Julian has been waiting for almost 30 minutes. I stared at him. Julian lifted his coffee mug slightly. Morning. He looked way too pleased with himself. I looked at my mom. You let him in? She gave me that look moms gave when they already knew they were right. He was polite. And early. I support both things. Julian smiled into his mug. I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me. It did not. Useless floor. I sat down across from him. My mom placed a plate in front of me. Julian, you should come over more often, she said. Eric barely brings friends home. I nearly choked on air. Julian looked at me, very slowly, very amused. Really? I nudged him under the table, lightly, for emotional reasons. He lives far away, I said quickly. My mom looked at Julian. Well, you're welcome anytime. Then she turned to me. And maybe he can teach you how to wake up early. Julian's smile became unbearable. I picked up my fork. I am eating silently now. That will be a first, Julian said. My mom laughed. I did not. I finished breakfast faster than any person should. Then I grabbed my backpack and pulled Julian toward the door. Mom, we're leaving. Drive safely, she called. Both of you. Outside, the morning air was cool. Julian started laughing before we even reached his car. I turned to him. What? He opened the driver's door, still smiling. Nothing. Your mom is great. She treats me like I'm 12. Julian's smile softened, then faded a little. That can be a good thing. I paused. His voice had changed. Not teasing, not polished, just quiet. I wanted to ask what he meant, but Julian looked away first, so I did not. In the car, he drove like usual. Calm, smooth, like nothing could touch him. But for the first time, I wondered if that was true. Julian had the perfect grades, the perfect clothes, the perfect house, probably. The kind of family people mentioned with respect. But maybe perfect came with rules, expectations, pressure. Maybe at school, annoying me was not just entertainment. Maybe it was breathing. We reached Westbridge High just before first bell. The parking lot was already crowded. A few students looked over when Julian and I got out of the same car. One guy from our history class stared like he had missed an entire season of a show. I pretended not to notice. Julian clearly noticed. He looked amused. Congratulations, he said. We have become interesting. We were already interesting. No. You were loud. Pointed at him. Careful. I know your green peppercorn secrets. He smiled. Before we reached the hallway, we saw Selena and Ben near the lockers. Ben was holding her notebook again. Selena was laughing. They looked happy, comfortable, real. I waited for jealousy. Again, nothing came. Julian slowed beside me. I looked at him. Does it bother you? He watched them for a second, then shook his head. No, he glanced at me. You? I thought about it. Then I shook my head too. I don't think so. We stood there in the busy hallway. students moving around us, lockers closing, someone laughing near the vending machine, and somehow the quiet between us felt louder than all of it. Because if Selena was not the reason anymore, then Julian and I had to figure out what was. All morning, I told myself not to think about Julian. That worked for about 7 minutes. Then third period happened. Julian sat 2 rows across from me in English. He was supposed to be taking notes. I was supposed to be taking notes. Neither of us was doing a very good job. I looked over once. He was already looking at me. Our eyes met. For half a second, the classroom went quiet in my head. Then we both looked away. Way too fast. My pen rolled off my desk. Maya, who sat behind me, leaned forward. "Smooth," she whispered. I picked up the pen. I dropped it on purpose. "Sure." Across the room, Julian covered a smile with his hand. I hated him. I liked that he smiled. Those 2 facts were becoming very inconvenient. At lunch, I went to the corner table again. By then, I should have expected him. Still, when Julian sat across from me, my heart reacted like it had been personally invited. He placed his tray down. "Peace?" I asked. Julian opened his milk carton. "Entertainment." Still me? Sadly, I should have rolled my eyes. I did, but I was smiling too. For a while, we ate quietly. Across the cafeteria, Selena and Ben sat with the music club group. I looked at them for a moment. Still no jealousy. Just the strange realization that I was paying more attention to Julian. I looked back at him. Ours felt like someone had spilled soda on the script. Julian noticed. "What?" I pushed one fry around my tray. "Everything feels weird." "It is weird. Very helpful." He leaned back slightly. "I mean it." His voice was softer than usual. No teasing. No performance. Just Julian. "A few days ago, we were competing for Selena," I said. "Now she's with Ben, and somehow we keep sitting together." Julian looked toward Selena and Ben, then back at me. Maybe Selena was never the whole reason. My chest tightened. I tried to laugh. Came out wrong. Then what was the other reason? Julian held my gaze. For once, he did not look away first. "You, for example." My fork froze halfway to my mouth. I stared at him. "Don't ruin lunch." Julian did not smile. "Eric, I'm serious." That was worse. So much worse. Because when Julian joked, I knew what to do. I could joke back. I could run. I could call him dramatic and pretend my heart was normal. But Julian looking at me like that? Soft, careful, honest. I had no defense for that. Before I could answer, Maya appeared beside our table with Ben, Selena, and half the music club behind her. "There you 2 are," she said. "Hiding again?" "We are eating," I said. Suspiciously. Ben looked between us with a small smile. Selena tried to look innocent. She failed. Maya leaned closer. "Should we talk about the birthday photo?" "No," Julian and I said together. The group exploded with laughter. Someone from behind Maya said, "That timing was romantic." "It was gravity," I said. Julian picked up his drink. "And bad crowd management." Everyone started talking at once. I was grateful, mostly, because Julian's words were still sitting between us. "You, for example." After school, Julian walked beside me toward the parking lot. The late afternoon air was warm. Too warm. Or maybe I was still thinking about lunch. "My car is still at the shop," I said. "I know." I looked at him. "How?" Julian unlocked his car. "You complained about it for 10 minutes yesterday." "Fair." We got in. This time, Julian did not start driving right away. He sat there, hands resting on the wheel. Then he looked at me. "You asked what I meant at lunch." I swallowed. "And?" He pulled into a quiet spot near the side of the parking lot before answering. "I don't know exactly," he said. "I just know I keep thinking about you." My heart forgot how to behave. Julian looked down, then back at me. "The photo, the car ride, the stupid arguments. The way you look at me when you think I won't notice." I tried to smile. "So I'm extremely charming." "Eric." His voice was quiet. "Serious." I stopped joking. I think I feel it too, I said. The words scared me, but they were true. Julian's face softened. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then I looked out the windshield. But we need time, I said. A few days ago, we were fighting over Selena. This is weird, Julian finished. Very weird. He nodded. Okay. I looked back at him. Okay. We take time. The engine started. The car moved toward the road. And for the first time, the silence between us did not feel awkward. It felt like a promise neither of us was ready to say out loud. That night, I barely slept. I tried. I really did. I turned off my phone, turned off the lamp, stared at the ceiling like it owed me an explanation. Nothing worked, because my brain kept replaying Julian's voice. You, for example. Then the car. His hands on the wheel. His serious face. We take time. The problem was, time did not help. Time made it worse. I started thinking about everything. Every argument. Every competition. Every time I tried to make Selena laugh and immediately looked to see if Julian noticed. That was the part that bothered me. Not Selena. Julian. Had I really wanted to beat him? Or had I just wanted him to look at me? To react? To chase back? To care? I rolled onto my side. Oh no! I whispered. My pillow remained silent. Again. Completely useless. By morning, I looked like a ghost with homework. Julian was waiting outside my house at 7:30. When I got into his car, he looked at my face and paused. Did you do horror makeup today? I checked the mirror. 2 dark circles stared back at me. Yes, I said. Took me all night. Julian laughed. Then his smile softened. You couldn't sleep? I buckled my seatbelt and looked out the window. Because of you. The car went quiet. A very dangerous quiet. Julian started driving. Because of what I said? Obviously. And I glanced at him. He looked calm, but his fingers tapped once against the steering wheel. Just once. I noticed. Unfortunately, I noticed everything now. I still think. This is strange, I said. Julian nodded slowly. But, I took a breath. But I realized something. What? I don't think I was competing with you only because of Selena. Julian looked at me for half a second, then back at the road. His smile appeared slowly, like sunrise. That's so? Do not look that happy. I am trying not to. You are failing. I know. I covered my face with one hand. Focus on driving. I am focused. You keep looking at me every 30 seconds. 28, he said. I lowered my hand and glared at him. He smiled all the way to school. That should have annoyed me. It did. But not enough. During class, Julian kept looking at me from across the room. Every time I caught him, I lifted my hand slightly. A silent warning. He only smiled more. By the time music club ended that afternoon, I was exhausted. Lack of sleep was real. So was emotional confusion. Julian noticed before anyone else. He walked over while the others packed up. You look tired. I wonder why. His smile softened again. Want to leave early? I nodded. Outside, the late afternoon sun made the parking lot glow gold. We got into his car. For once, I did not joke immediately. Then I remembered something. Oh, I said. The garage called. My car should be ready tomorrow. Julian's expression changed. Just a little. But I saw it. Good, he said. I'll drive you there in the morning. You look sad. I'm not. Julian. He sighed and started the car. I guess I'll have to drive to school alone again. I stared at him. Then I laughed softly. Do you want to drive me every day? Because this sounds like I'm getting a free driver. Julian looked at the road. Eric, can you be serious at moments like this? We reached the corner near my house. He stopped the car by the curb. I turned toward him. What kind of moments? Julian looked at me. The moments when I'm about to confess, and you ruin the mood. My heart stopped. Confess. His face became serious. Yes, so you should be punished. I swallowed. Punished. Julian leaned a little closer. Softly, carefully. Close enough for the whole car to feel quiet. Your punishment, he said, is being my boyfriend. I stared at him. Then, because I was me, I almost ruined it. That sounds dramatic. Is this how rich people confess? Eric. His voice was gentle, but serious, so I stopped hiding. Okay, I whispered. Serious. Julian waited. I looked at him. Last night, I was scared you didn't feel the same. His eyes softened. But now I know you do. I took one shaky breath. So yes, I agree. Julian smiled. Not polished, not perfect, just happy. Then he leaned in, and I met him halfway. It was soft, quiet, real. The first kiss had been an accident. Crowded photo, a push from behind, a room full of people laughing. But this one was different. This time I chose Julian, and Julian chose me.